everybody, and welcome to another Journal with Me video. In today's video, I am going to be working in my personal journal, and this journal is the Bomb Kitchen matcha cover. Inside is a Muji grid notebook, and the supplies that I am using are some stickers and postcards from Pen Paling Paula. These are things that I got last year and decided to wait to use until this year, and a recent order from Nico Neko. And I was so inspired by the new items that I went ahead and played and made my cover page on New Year's Eve with my intentions for the year, and decided to use those new supplies as a jumping off point to get my journal started for the first few days of January. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I like to pre-decorate all of my layouts beforehand to sort of make it easier for me to stay caught up and maintain my journal. I don't set out to journal daily, but I have done it for the past few months and have found it to be not only rewarding, but very therapeutic. And so I've challenged myself to continue that challenge or that process in January for a couple of reasons. The first of which kind of were because I had these rub-ons from the company Hours or Hank's Diary, and it's a sort of, they're numbered all the way to 31. And so I didn't want to waste any of those rub-ons. I wanted to use it as my date marker like I have been doing forever now, it seems like. And I went ahead and put number 1 on the front of this postcard to be like a tip-in. I'm not really sure why I felt the need to tip this particular postcard in, but it was just so beautiful, and I felt like it deserved to have a permanent place in my journal. And what better place than at the beginning of the year, and use some of Pen Paling Paula's notebook washi and one of these postage stamp stickers that I got from Nico Neko. And I really love these supplies. They really challenged me to use things that I wouldn't normally use. I don't tend to gravitate towards really bright, fun colors. I don't really tend to buy new stationery supplies. I tend to feel comfortable with vintage supplies. And one of the challenges that I wanted to challenge myself, or one of the things I wanted to challenge myself this year, was to not really go away from using vintage stuff, but to get more comfortable with using new supplies. I went through a place many years ago where I felt the need to buy. Like I just was a super consumer and acquired a ungodly amount of stuff. This is when I was scrapbooking and doing Project Life still, and I became very overwhelmed and uninspired by the amount of stuff that I had. And so since then, I have given most of it away. Most of it has gone to my children's school for their art department and their teachers' classrooms in case they had some fun projects and needed supplies. And so since then, I have been very cautious about the new stationery that I accumulate. And I'm very mindful about what I purchase now. I'm almost hyper mindful about it, you know? And anyway, I have gotten a little bit uncomfortable with using these supplies. I tend to have a hoarder's heart. When I love something, I tend to not want to touch it or use it. And I have gotten better at sort of, you know, when I buy something, I need to use it so that I don't get in that same place where I've acquired a literal room of stuff and I'm not using it. And so that's where I'm at. I'm not buying huge amounts of stuff anymore. I'm buying pretty minimally, and I have to really be in love with it and already have ideas in my mind for how I want to use it once I have it. And I'm just being super intentional with my purchases. And I know that sounds very cliche and like everybody is being intentional and mindful and aware, and you know, it hurts to even say that because I don't want to not be taken seriously, but that's truly honestly how I'm going into everything this year. I'm I've already committed myself to a no spend. I went a little bit crazy before the new year started and bought a bunch of new things that I hoped would keep me happy over the year, and have sort of told all of my friends and family for any special event, birthdays, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, any type of celebration, I am asking for gift cards so that when I get in a place where I feel like I need to spend money to feel better, or if I absolutely deeply fall in love with something and have to have it, I have gift cards to support that habit because I'm being realistic about my spending tendencies. You know, I'm a woman, and I know that's like super terrible to say, but I love to spend money sometimes. And when I'm sad, spending money makes me happy. Or when I fall in love with something, owning it brings me joy. And I know that's like the worst thing that anybody could say, but I'm owning it, and that's who I am. And I just want to be mindful and aware of how I spend my money. And if I commit myself to a no spend, with limitations and awareness about what I want to spend my money on or not, then I feel like I will be more successful. I'm not going to be going to Michael's and just buying things whenever I want. I'm not going to be going to Etsy and just buying just because it's pretty or because I feel bad. I'm not spending money in that way. I will continue to go to antique shops because just being in that space brings me joy and happiness, and it's a break for me to get away from everything at home. But I'm not buying things just because it's there. I have committed myself to that. If I find a piece that my husband and I agree, like we need it, have to have it, like it's one of those like pieces, you know what I mean? Then that will be something that we agree on together. He's already agreed to support me and to keep me accountable. And if I buy anything paper related, it will be only for Patreon, for my patrons and my rewards, or something that I want to put in my Etsy shop. I'm not buying things for me anymore because I have a room full of stuff that I can play with. And I'm being super honest with myself about that. And I feel like I can do it. I know I can be successful. It's not because I don't want to be a consumer. One of the things I have also challenged myself to do this year is to support 5 small businesses and send 5 people that I love a random gift throughout the year so I can still support these small businesses that I love and make 5 people that I love feel special. And that way I'm still, I'm still making sure that I support my community and my people. And I feel like that's a very honest way that I can do that. And it's not going to benefit anybody but the business and the people that I love. So there's that. I really didn't go into this video thinking I would be talking about my spending habits this year, but if anybody else is sort of struggling with consumerism and minimalism, I get it. I'm there with you. I also love to buy things, and I also fall in love with new supplies. But I made a deal with myself at the beginning of the year to be realistic about what I want to do with my money and how I want to spend instead of how I want to save instead of spend. I've got some real goals that I want to achieve this year financially and with my business as well. And so, I think I spent a long enough time as a collector and a hoarder to know and accept my tendencies and to just let it go. So I hope that I haven't triggered anybody with this. I know that sometimes this is a touchy subject, and I apologize for that. I just felt the need to explain the use of these supplies because, I love supporting my stationery friends and their businesses, and I don't want to not support them, but I also need to be realistic about how I spend my money this year. And I feel like I spent for the sake of spending last year, and I just don't want to go into this year with that same mindset. I used my Etsy shop as a reason to justify just buying and buying and buying. And now I have an excess of stuff that I don't know what to do with. And I just don't, I'm done with that. I'm done with having all of that. So I do have some technical issues. The video does cut out, and I'm going to bring it in closer and show you the pieces that you miss. But basically, I just put down 3 more things and I call it good. And I'm about to show you what those 3 things are. I don't know why the footage cut out, but it did. It's something that I've been struggling with and am aiming to fix soon. So I'm showing here, I'm just put down this rub-on here, this washi tape from Job's Journal, and then the number 6 rub-on, and then another little rub-on piece right there. So I'm going to bring it in closer so that you guys can see everything. It's pretty simple. I'm leaving plenty of space to write down what I need to write down, and that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and for listening to me ramble about my goals this year. And I hope that everybody can keep me accountable, and I hope that if you're sort of struggling with the same thing, you found some inspiration to make similar decisions. If not, it's not my business. You spend your money how you want to, and I will support you no matter what. That's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I will catch you guys later. Thanks. Bye.